Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from AnthonysCustoms, and for this review, we're looking at the new Mattel 6-inch Halo Spartan lock figure. Just like the Master Chief, it's very similar in design, basically all the same articulation. All of the armor is removable, and it does come with 2 weapons. So it's basically the same figure, but Spartan lock version with a lot of new sculpted parts and new painted parts. So let's get him off the stand and take a closer look. Okay, so this guy is a bit shorter than Master Chief. He comes in at just about 16 centimeters, which makes him just about 6¼ inches, and he looks pretty good. He's probably a little bit thick. I know in some images Locke is thicker, and in the game sometimes he seems thicker than others, so it's not so thick that I think it's a problem. He does kind of have the really thick legs, upper thigh area, but it's not bad. It looks okay, especially once you get him posed. And in terms of paint job, he's got a fair bit of paint. You can see there's 2 different shades on his torso. We have that kind of greenish color with the gray. We have that translucent, well, it's not really, it's supposed to be like lit LED, like fiber optic wire piping going through. We have all of that. That's all painted on there nicely. We have the Oni logo on his chest. Some variation throughout the rest of the figure here and there. It's just all around a really nice looking figure, and again, I don't think the lack of paint is a problem for these. Again, it would be nice if we had more, but I don't think we need it at this price point. I'm very okay with it. And they did a good job with the face. We have the grays in there, the visor's the metallic blue, and we have that yellow triangle thing on his head. So very happy with the overall look of the figure. Before we get into the articulation, let's talk about the accessories. He comes with a battle rifle, which does have the yellowish orange stripe on there and the logo type thing, whatever that is, on the back. Looks pretty good. Again, the sculpt could be a little bit better, maybe more paint on there, but I think it's an acceptable quality accessory for the price point. And then we have the plasma caster, which has the metallic purple paint and a couple other shades of paint on there. It doesn't look bad. I think it looks, like I said again, very good for the price point. And they both have weapons peg holes in them so that you can put them on the back of the figure. The figure has a peg hole back here on his actual back, and then he has one on his hip on either side. Even though those accessories won't go there, you can put other accessories there. So plenty of options with that. Now, you guys saw in the Master Chief review that they can have problems holding their weapons with both hands, and in this case, Locke cannot do it. You cannot get both weapons in his hands appropriately in any capacity, and it's mostly because once you put the BR in his hand, that big stock on this gun just totally gets in the way. You can't get it anywhere near the other hand appropriately. It's just way too big. So I'm not sure. I mean, it kind of looks like it's too big, the back part of the gun, the stock area, but I doubt they would have done that. So I'm thinking it's just like an optical illusion. But regardless, there's no way to get that across. You'd have to really bend the arm in a way it's not meant to go to get it in that hand. So it's pretty disappointing that he can't do that. I guess I can live with it because I'm not sure how they can fix that. In this case, especially with that bigger gun, there's just no real good way to do it. Again, like I said in the Master Chief video, if you have a rotation in the lower part of the bicep by the elbow, you'd be at least able to put it in like a relaxed pose with the gun down and across the waist in both hands. But even then, I'm not sure how much that's going to help with a big gun like that. And the plasma caster is not that much different. So that is a problem, not being able to hold the gun in 2 hands. Can't really put him in any Halo poses, so to speak. As far as the articulation goes, there's a ball peg in the head, and it has a little bit of play forward and back, which is pretty similar to the better DCUC figures. Some of them didn't have it, but he does. So you can snap it forward or back, and then you can spin it around however far it'll go based on the sculpt, which is good because that's where you want it. That's as much articulation as you can ask for. So for the shoulder, we have the same hinge as Master Chief. That'll go all the way up. You just have to tuck the shoulder armor under the torso armor just a little bit, but it still gives you all the range you need. And then, of course, it'll spin all the way around. You have your bicep swivel, double jointed elbow. That still doesn't give you that much better than 90 degrees, really, but it is, I guess, good enough at this point. Hopefully they can figure out some ways to get the articulation to work a little bit better. And then we have the wrist swivel and hinge, so that's pretty good. And then in the torso, we have a ball peg, which allows him to lean forward and back, side to side. Really good range side to side, rotates around all the way. Really no problems with that torso articulation. One thing I've heard people be unhappy about, and which I have to agree with, is that the torso armor on this guy is particularly loose and maybe a little bit too small. It just kind of, I mean, not small in terms of overall size, but thickness. It just looks a little bit under, it doesn't have that much coverage. And I know it's not the biggest armor in the world, but I'm thinking it's something not quite right about that. So it could be better, and I wish it did fit him better, but once you get him posed, it's not too bad. Now for the hips, you can bring the legs only out about that far, which isn't terrible, but I think it could be a little bit better. Again, just like Master Chief, he's kind of just bumping into the butt sculpt a little bit there. And then out to the sides, his armor really gets in the way. Not so much posability there. Even with the armor kind of flexing off of the leg, it doesn't work that well. You do get a thigh swivel though, but that armor is going to limit it. His thigh armor is just really destroying the articulation right there. It's unfortunate. For the knees, we have a double jointed knee, but you can't really go anywhere with it due to the sculpt of this right here. It's very limiting. You're not going to get more than 90 degrees really no matter what you do, which, I mean, that's probably enough for most poses, but it's worth mentioning because we are doing a review after all. And then for the ankles, they go pretty far forward, pretty far back, and you have the ankle rocker. It is limited by the armor again, though. This is going to get in the way, so that's a bit of a bummer. And then his removable foot armor, it does end up sitting down flush over the foot, but I still think we need to come up with a better design than that. Having that hollow bottom on the foot, especially since there is a peg hole in there, you can't use that peg hole with the armor on, and the armor could easily just be flush on the bottom, peg into that hole, and then have a separate piece that pegs into the top. That would be a better design. I think hopefully they go that route in the future. All in all, he's not as good as Master Chief. He's probably good enough for the price point. He's definitely better than the other Locke figure. That one looks okay, standing perfectly still. This one will provide some more posability at least, and it's definitely a bigger size. So I don't recommend him as much as Master Chief, but if you're a Halo fan, I think you should pick it up. It's a pretty good figure for what it is. Still some kinks to work out of the new line, but I think they're going to get there, and I'm pretty happy with it so far. So there you go, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I have new videos every single morning. We talk about action figures, video games, movies, TV shows, all kinds of fun stuff. So make sure you subscribe, and in the meantime, keep collecting.